It's actually a little hotter than lava coming out of a volcano. So pretty incredibly hot stuff. We collect that on the end of the hollow stainless steel pipe. She shaped it up a little bit and then blew and capped air pressure in the back end of that pipe. That air pressure has nowhere else to go except push its way out into the hot glass. And we end up with a small air bubble in our piece that's about the size of a golf ball. This small amount of material here is enough to make something small, like a little drinking glass or an ice cream bowl or something. So we're going to now let this cool down. This will solidify and stabilize. Then we can go back into the furnace and collect another layer of clear glass. So let this all kind of settle. Oh, we can cool the pipe down too. This tool is called a pipe cooler. That trough kind of fills up with water. We can quench and cool the pipe down so that our hands can stay pretty comfortable. And we'll head over to the melting furnace. This larger melting furnace here is all full of clear glass. Up on the screens we'll play an animation of what it looks like inside that furnace. This is as if we were to cut away one of the walls of the furnace and you can see inside. You can see that large ceramic bowl called a crucible that holds all of the liquid glass. She plunges the head of the pipe below the surface of that glass, turning nice and consistently in one direction to be able to scoop up a good amount of material to use for a medium-sized piece. She's shaping the glass in that large scoop tool. That scoop tool is called a block. The block tool is made out of cherry wood. So a wooden tool for shaping something that's hotter than lava. See, that doesn't make too much sense, but the wood tool is soaked in water. This tool is also soaked in water. Right when the water touches the 2,000-degree glass, it turns into steam. The glass rides along with a thin layer of steam for about 10 or 15 seconds before you have to dip the tool back in the water. This tool is made out of paper, so even more surprising than the wood tool. But that's about 10 sheets of newspaper that have been folded in thirds and then folded in thirds again and soaked in water. The fibers in the paper are dense enough so the heat and the steam don't push through to your hand. You can stay pretty comfortable while shaping that glass. So we build up a little bit of heat. We'll head over here to a mold. This mold is called an optic mold. This one has these pyramid-shaped points on the inside that all poke into the surface of the glass. We get this beautiful diamond facet texture on the surface of the piece. Sometimes we call that a pineapple mold. The glass looks a little bit like a pineapple when it comes out of the mold. Really kind of the original name for that mold is called a Ballatin mold. But we get this beautiful texture on the surface, and then she'll start working pretty quickly to inflate the glass, as well as cut in a line. She's cutting in a line right off the end of the pipe. This constriction line here, this will be the thinnest and the weakest point on the glass. This will be right where we want to break the piece free from the pipe a little bit later on. So tighter, thinner constriction line. We'll head over to our secondary furnace. This furnace is called a reheating furnace. There's no glass inside of this one. It's just a large chamber of heat to keep the glass nice and hot and workable. Get this really nice and hot and continue to inflate and shape the glass. Now if she wants to make a tall vase, she can heat that piece up and swing it down towards the floor. That'll help the glass stretch and elongate to be a little bit taller. And then if she wants a shorter piece, she could have held it up in the air, it would get shorter and wider. That would help us make a low bowl or a plate shape. So we cut in this line. Make sure our shape is just about right. Now for this piece, and a lot of the pieces that we make, the tip of the bubble, the part that's kind of closest to me, that'll be the bottom of our piece. And then the constriction line up on the top there, that'll be the top or the lip of our piece. So we'll start adding some bits of glass to this piece. And I'll jump in and help out. Usually we work together like this in teams. Teams of 2 or 3 are pretty common. But if you have something really large or really complicated, you can have even more people involved. So I'll gather up some glass and bring it on over. We can touch this down on the bottom portion of our piece, curl that around on itself, pull the glass away. That glass becomes thinner than a human hair and breaks itself free. So we're left with a hot little bit of glass on the end of our piece. We'll start to shape and center that glass and get everything just right. And we can divide it into a couple sections to make a nice stem for the piece. This piece will have a stem and a foot. We've got a big wood paddle. Flatten out the bottom section of the piece. So we end up with this stem that kind of features a nice marble in the middle section, nice little round ball of glass in the midsection there. But the whole piece isn't going to stand up just on that foot, so we're going to need, on that stem, so we're going to need more glass for a foot. So I'll gather up a little bit more glass and bring it on over. And for all of these processes, there's not really one right way of doing things. For the foot, we will add a solid bit of glass, which will end up using our Swedish footing tool. So this is a Swedish style foot. So I'll gather up a little bit more material here and bring it on over. Ellen grabbed the Swedish footing tool out of the bucket of water, so that's a wet wood tool as well. Add this on in a similar fashion. Coil this around on itself. Very, very nice. Now, the final step on this process is the slow cooling process. A piece like this needs to cool down very slowly for a period of about 12 hours. We're going to place this piece into a kiln. The kiln is 965 degrees Fahrenheit. It'll slowly cool down overnight, and that alleviates any stress or strain left in the glass. If we broke this piece free and we set it on the floor, on the table, it would crack and break into a lot of little pieces in a matter of minutes. Sometimes there's a little sharp spot left by that punty connection. Give that a little smooth out so nobody cuts their fingers on the bottom of this piece when we come into work tomorrow. We'll bring it on over to the kiln with a bunch of the other pieces that we've made so far today. So this piece goes right on in there. We'll take a look at that one a little closer again tomorrow. A beautiful piece by